Good morning. This summer, I became a new adult, and I realized that the financial responsibilities that I thought I didn't have are now something I should try to get to know. So this includes like what I'm going to do in my career, if I'm going to own a house, maybe, what my retirement plan is going to be, with the 401k. And I know that a common kind of denominator for all these is interest rates. And understanding what interest rates are, what the level is, and what this means that I should do is a big part in planning for my financial future, as well as should be yours. In this speech, I'm going to be going over like the history of interest rates, the status quo, what they are now, as well as how economics disagree upon the different levels that they're at. So, Gimli Akamandu talked about in our article earlier this year in 2020 about how Woodrow Wilson created the Federal Reserve in 1913. This is like the U.S. bank per se, because it loans money to actual banks in the U.S. as well as takes money in through bonds that the public pays it. It established the interest rates in the mid-1950s. Interest rates are basically money that you owe extra over loan money. So let's say you paid me a $100 loan with a 10% APR or a 10% interest rate over 12 months. I'd have to pay you back after those 12 months $110, $10 extra for those interest rates, because 10% of 100 is 10. Now, this is kind of like a small difference, $10 and a $100 loan, because it's not just for our example, but when you're looking at like $300,000 loans over 12 years, the difference of 1% and 2% is a large margin of money. So again, this is a tool the U.S. uses to kind of like control the economy from inflation and growth. And to kind of put in a little bit more perspective, lowest interest rates was in 2008 at 0.15%. And it grew up to about in the 1970s, it grew up to about 20%. So right now, the interest rates are sitting at about 0.22%. This is considered low for us. The Federal Reserve wants to make up for the lost economic activity during the lockdowns. This is why low interest rates are used to try and incentivize people to invest. Over the lockdown, nobody was spending money, nobody was getting money, everyone was really acting stable, and for an economy, this is bad because there's no more growth, and sitting money is useless money. Looking forward, we can define some terms, as James said, laid it down in this March in 2020. He explained how low interest rates are based on anything that's below 0.25%. This is good environment for people looking to borrow money, because instead of having to pay maybe $200,000 over a loan, you have to only pay $100,000, saving yourself $100,000 actually. This makes it a good environment for them because they're looking to spend as much money as they can because they expect to make that extra $100K back later. On average interest rates, it's around 0.25% to 4%. This is like the best state for the economy, I guess, when the Federal economy is active, because it's not really trying to control inflation, but they also think the economy is growing. They don't think that it needs to incentivize growth. They think it's doing it on its own. So this is where we want to sit at. When interest rates get above 4%, this is when the Federal Reserve fears that inflation's happening to the U.S. dollar. The definition of inflation is that it's when the buying power of the consumers is greater than the power that production has. And the problem with this is that, let's say I spend $20 when I don't have 10, expecting to make $30 later. But in hindsight, I can only make 5. Where is the $5 I already spent gone? People aren't getting paid, loans are being paid back, and people are having to go bankrupt. This is awful for the economy because, again, it just puts people in poverty and it's bad. So when interest rates are above 4%, they're trying to stop people from spending money they don't have, and they're trying to control it a bit more to bring it back down, to bring inflation back so we don't have people spending money they don't have. The disagreement really comes from the value that interest rates have. Ty John Peter explains in his 2019 article about the effect interest rates levels have. A high interest rate kind of is trying to control the dollar from inflation again. They don't want people spending money they don't have, and thus it's kind of like a safety net. People are afraid that they overspend. Problem with this is that it stunts growth. People aren't going to be investing money. They're not going to be taking loans out. They're not really trying to build for the future because they don't have the cost it takes them is too great. and this kind of like chokes an economy out to where it stops growing. If the Federal Reserve is correct in setting them low now, it means our economy is lacking spending. They're trying to incentivize people to go out and spend money. They're trying to make people invest for the future, create business elsewhere. This is good because it kind of like boosts the economy into growth and makes more value come out from where it wasn't before. But as Jenna Smilak puts in her 2020 article, the low interest rates now can have a dire effect later when inflation grows. People won't be able to pay back their debts, and now we have a different problem besides the fact that a lot of value was lost over the pandemic. So yeah, the Federal Reserve wants to maintain low interest rates through 2021. This is because, again, they think that they want to incentivize growth and want to make more spending happen in the economy. If they're right, this effect is basically going to allow more people to spend money. It's more loans to be taken out. But again, if they're wrong, they maintain it for too low for too long, then inflation grows, as Ms. Wilak said. In conclusion, interest rates are important. They determine how much we pay for a house. Again, how much bonds we get return. They determine the government can use it to push and pull money into the economy. And history shows when you wrong decisions when controlling these interest rates, it's devastating. As a consumer, pay attention. If interest rates are high, maybe don't invest your money. You can make more off an income plan. But today, when it's low, make a move, buy a house, invest some money. The government wants you to. Pay attention to the economic state of our country, and you can save yourself a lot of money in the future. Thank you. Did I cite 4?